Hi guys. I don't know if people still make videos with their MacBooks anymore, but here we go. Um, so this is a video about my transition from stripping to personal training. And I know that when I thought whatever that I wanted to be a stripper, I would look on Reddit and Facebook and anywhere else I could to find people's stories and experiences, um, and what they liked and disliked about stripping. So maybe this will help some girl out there that's trying to phase out of dancing, because shit's not the easiest thing I've ever done. I can tell you that. Um, so I have been a personal trainer now for a year and some change. I have been on my own as a trainer for 3 months, and then I worked at a big box gym for about 10 months before couldn't do that anymore. I was a stripper for 5 years, from 21 to 26. I'm now 27, in and out of retirement. What? So, why I decided to be a dancer? First of all, I'm in Portland, Oregon, so that is the stripping capital of planet Earth. We have the most strip clubs per capita than anywhere else in the world. Like 7-Elevens and Starbucks it's like strip clubs in Portland. So it's not entirely taboo to dance here. There's all different kinds of clubs, all different skill levels, all different kinds of hustles, and there's something for everyone. That's for sure. I worked at Sassy's. It has been voted #1 strip club in Portland for many years, and I am so thankful for my time as a dancer and all the friends I have made. Like, sisterhood, I tell you guys. Like, more than high school, more than college. I only went to college for like a half a second. I did make one best friend. Shout out Nikki. But dancing brought a lot of positivity to my life. I was able to travel and pay my rent. I went, in 2015, I traveled 3 months to Southeast Asia, and that was amazing. And I don't know what 23-year-old can pay 3 months of rent and support herself and come back with money afterwards and take that kind of time off. Like, there's so much freedom and empowerment with dancing. And it all depends on the person, too, of course. You gotta have some self-discipline. You gotta be strong. You gotta be... No, but, obviously there's temptations, there's drug use, there's pimps. I mean, I never ran into that problem, thankfully. But there's sex trafficking, you know. But the community is strong here. We look out for each other. We take care of each other. So that's important. So why I wanted to be a dancer was the freedom, first and foremost. I was working as a receptionist for many years. Started working when I was 15 years old. I was a hostess at Hale's restaurant on McLaughlin. I worked as a receptionist at a, let me turn that so it doesn't do that. Anyway, I was a hostess. I was a receptionist at a couple offices. I landed this really good job. I was at a temp agency, and 401k, 40 hours a week, but I was a receptionist. And I was working in an office where I was the youngest one. I had tattoos, I had piercings all up in my face. I didn't like that. And being 21, I'm like, you can't tell me what to do. So I had a family member who was a dancer also. And I had some friends that were dancers. I'm going to just keep was fucking with my hair. I had some friends that were dancers, and I was like, she's fucking hot. She looks like she's living the life. Like, on Facebook, it was like self-employed and loving it. And I was like, what does she do? Turns out she was my neighbor. I go over one day, we smoke a bowl, I play on her pole, and I'm like, this is fun. So I show some interest. She's like, I'll go, like, you can come audition at my club. So I go in and audition. And they're like, do you want to work tonight? And I'm like, God, no. I mean, I was like, I have to take my panties off? Like, yeah, girl, you got to get buck-ass naked up there. And I just remember, like, you know, having a couple drinks before, and I got hired. And my first night I worked, a performer of the name Sassy Cassie was performing that night. I think she's like 3 feet tall. And I made $300. 3 feet tall, $300. And I was hooked, obviously. 21, I was making like $600 every 2 weeks, and I just made $300 in 5 hours. And I got to drink and kick it, and I was like, cool. Yes, I'll do it. That was at Wild Orchid, for any of you Portlanders who are watching. It was on like 152nd in Division. I was too scared to dance anywhere too close to like the inner city. I didn't want to run into anybody. I didn't know how long it was going to happen. I was terrified that like all your, you know, you're just scared that you're going to like run into everyone you know, and like all your like dad's friends are going to show up. To this day, no, none of my dad's friends have shown up. How my parents, so my family all knows that I dance. And after about 2 years of me dancing, I was at Sassy's at that point. My mom actually asked me if I was dancing. We were both drinking Fireball that night. We went to, it was like Mom's Weekend at OSU. My sister might die. And my mom just straight up asked me, and at that point I couldn't lie, and so I told her the truth, and she flipped out, and big argument, you know. Slowly, then like one more family, it's a domino effect. Like my family and I were all very close, so everyone ended up finding out gradually, which was the best situation because I hated lying. Like I was telling them I was like a telemarketer, so I'm not a good liar. So then they find out, and they're like, you know, they're not stoked about it. They're not fully supportive. But my dad, I remember him actually saying, he was like, well, I know that club is one of the better ones, and so, you know, it's safe. But anyway, they would constantly ask me, what's your plan, what's your plan, what's your plan, what's your plan? And I was like, I just want to be happy, like, let me be, I want to be free, whatever. But then, slowly but surely, I did end up feeling a little undersatisfied. Like, the adrenaline of a Friday, Saturday night is just, like, amazing. Like, being on stage is an amazing feeling. Dancing is empowering. And, you know, of course you deal with assholes. You deal with assholes in any, you know, you're at work. But for the most part, men, women, couples, non-binary, everyone would come to that club, every walk of life. And I met a lot of amazing people. But anyway, you get to a certain point where you're like, this isn't my soul's work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would go into work and I would put smiles on people's faces and tell jokes, and we would vibe, and it would be so fun, and it was fulfilling for a long time. But, you know, I also wanted to make my family proud, and I knew that there was more to it. So I decided to go back to school, but I knew it needed to be something that that I could translate into real life right away, or else I was going to lose interest. And so I had always been, you know, more or less physically fit and active. I got my black belt in Taekwondo when I was about 15 years old, cheerleader. And I live in Oregon, in the Pacific Northwest, where you hike and bike and kayak for fun on the weekends. So I was like, all right, like, physical fitness. Like, who doesn't want to know more about how the human body works, nutrition, mindfulness, etc.? So I went to a trade school. I did their year-long program. I went twice a week and danced through that, put myself through that, And then when I went to go get a job at a big box gym, so here's my transition part, okay? So all my mentors, all the podcasts I listened to, everyone was encouraging to start at, I wish I would have shut that door. Said that I should start at a big box gym, an LA Fitness, a 24-hour fitness, wherever you are in the world, just like a corporate gym. There's so much to learn. You're gonna, there's Babe. That was funny. Babe just came in. Okay, so there's so much to learn at these big box gyms, right? From your coworkers, the veteran trainers, and obviously it's a big corp. They're doing something right? So just learn everything you can and think of it as a paid internship, because let me tell ya, they're not paying you stripper money. So transitioning from being a stripper to being anything, a lot of the go-tos is like massage, hair, nails, art, yoga teacher, personal training, not limited to, obviously, but those are the go-tos. They're good go-tos because you've got your crew, right? You've got your community, hopefully, that will help support you in the beginning. So, yes, the money is going to be a big change. Brace yourself. You're going to have to build your clientele. You're going to, I went from working 4 days a week, nights, 20 to 30 hour work weeks, making, let's be honest here, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, to working 40-hour weeks, 6 days a week, and making half or less, because now I'm paying taxes. I've got the middleman, that's the big corp, and I'm just not making that much an hour, especially starting out. I think I was probably making $15 an hour. Gross. So, not gross as in that's disgusting, but as in that's before taxes. So, with that lifestyle change of making a quarter or half or a third, whatever, of what you were used to making, you're no longer going to work and hanging out with those same girlfriends. Your schedules are going to be completely off. Those girls are working Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday maybe. I'm working Monday through Friday, Monday through Saturday, having like little blips in my schedule, working a couple hours in the morning, a couple hours in the afternoon, a couple hours at the evening. So my days are shot. And I would go to work at my big box, work with clients, come home, research, read books, listen to podcasts, cram my mind full of information, and then not retain anything because I'm just stressed. I was going through a breakup at the time. It was a peaceful breakup, and we're still friends today, but of course there was heartbreak there. I ended up moving back in with my folks because I wasn't making as much money, and me and my guy were living together. I wasn't seeing my friends. I didn't have any time for me. It was the winter months coming in. Once the holidays hit, I was totally depressed. I wasn't having any time for going outside or yoga or just me time. I ended up having a pretty big breakdown. Pretty good breakdown in December, burst into tears, hyperventilating, and it was all about the money. And I hated that money was running me so hard. But let's be honest, if you take that drastic of a hit, everything changes. Everything. So my light at the end of the tunnel was I had a trip planned. I was going to Costa Rica the month of February to get my yoga teacher training. And that, I'm not going to say it saved my life, but it is an experience that I will never forget and will always look back on. I learned so much. There was so much self-reflection. It was 2 weeks of high intense 5 a.m. mornings, class and dinner until 8 p.m., come in, study, decompress, and then wake up and do it all over again. I made some really good friends, really good connections. That was one experience where, you go to one place and you get to meet people from all over the world, and it was so special. I actually just went to Canada last weekend to visit my girlfriend, Carly, and it was great. Hi, Carly. So once I was ending my trip to Costa Rica, another dear friend, Lexi, Lexi, she hit me up and was like, hey, she had worked at the same big box and was now on her own and offered me a spot at the gym. And I was like, I am not ready. I don't have enough clients. I didn't have enough confidence in myself. I didn't believe that I could do it. But once I got back from Costa Rica, I was feeling recharged and excited about life. And but when I walked into those gray walls, I was like, I can't do this. I can't. And it was just such a numbers game. I don't want to be negative at all about my experience there because they taught me so much, and obviously I wouldn't have met the clients that I've met if it weren't for them. So I ended up saying yes, and I was like, you know what? I'm ready. Actually, no, I wasn't ready. You're never going to be completely ready for the change, but I believed that I could do it, and I had support from really awesome people, and I did it. And I'm so thankful that I did. All that dark times and the change, it hurt. But I wouldn't be who I am, and I wouldn't be where I am obviously now if it weren't for that. I feel a lot stronger for it. I feel a lot more sure of myself. I have figured out what I believe in and what my style of life is. Spirituality is really important to me. Astrology is really important to me. I look to the moon and the planets and the stars often, and to make sense of where I'm at and how I'm feeling, where my energy levels are. Setting goals and intentions has been a really helpful tool, and just reflecting, keeping a journal, asking myself the right questions, actually getting questions from a couple people that I follow on Instagram, and I think I'll maybe put their I never thought I'd ever get to say this. I'll put their information in the info below, the description. But transitioning from personal training or stripping to personal training, was it easy? No. Was it worth it? Yes. Can I go back and dance if I want to? Sure. Absolutely. Can I just be a personal trainer? No, you can't just be a personal trainer. I don't want to put anything in a negative light at all. Everything has its pros and cons. But it takes a lot of work and self-discipline to make something great. And I want to make an impact on I just want to make an impact on this world, and I want to put women first. I want to empower women, and I know that there's a lot of hurt and healing that needs to happen for us as a whole, for the planet as a whole, but for women especially. And so just going through what I did, it's only been a year, and that's the really exciting part. I just want to urge you to have a blast. I think every young girl, this might be crazy, but I think every young girl that wants to dance should absolutely do it. Go in there and know that you're a fucking badass bitch. Pardon my language, but go up there and own it. Have a good time. Let them buy you a drink. Let them tell you you're beautiful. Know that you're in charge and you're the boss. Get your money, honey. Save, and travel, or just blow it all on traveling. But save some dough. I wish I would have traveled more, but I did travel. But just do something good with that money. Spoil yourself. Enjoy yourself. And then have an exit plan. because you can't strip forever. Some may argue with me, but just enjoy it and learn all you can. Everything's a learning experience, right? So I highly encourage dancing. I had a great experience. It's hard transitioning out. You're going to lose contact with some of those girls. Some of them are going to doubt you. You know, I hope the best for all of my girlfriends, of course. It is a bummer when you lose some friends, but another one of my great friends, told me that if you aren't losing friends, that means if you aren't losing friends, you're not growing. This is turning in a little emotional. Now I want to be like, does anyone have any questions? I guess if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm very excited to see where my training takes me and just how many people I can reach. And I just want to keep expanding and building upon my training, making retreats, and reaching more women and helping women heal, including myself, finding all those tools. Yeah.